Hello, welcome. This is Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguene. You can follow this news live on our website is nta.ng/live and all the social media handles displayed on the screen. We begin from Monrovia, where Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo is a special guest of honor at a forum tagged Conversation with the Vice President and Young People, hosted by his Liberian counterpart, Dr. Joel Howard Taylor. A statement by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Office of the Vice President, Laolu Akonde, says the Vice President will also have a bilateral meeting with President George Weah of Liberia. At a forum which is part of activities marking the 60th birthday celebrations of Dr. Howard Taylor, Vice President Osinbajo and other leaders from West Africa would interact with a group of 400 emerging leaders sharing their growth, struggles, attainment, accomplishments and secrets. The Vice President is expected back today. Let's turn our attention back home. Nigeria is gradually taking steps towards becoming one of the industrialized nations in the world, with the closer attention being paid to the development of the science, technology and innovation sector by the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. This was the view canvassed by Chief of Staff of the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, at the opening of the 2023 Science, Innovation and Technology Expo in Abuja.
On the STI sector, for the utilization of our local raw materials and personnel. And so I personally signed the Presidential Executive Order number 5 for the planning and execution of projects, promotion of Nigerian content in contract, science, engineering and technology on the 2nd of February 2018.
The Technology and Innovation Expo, which is tagged Actualizing Effective Diversification of the Nigerian Economy Through Science, Technology and Innovation, is to strategically showcase the use of science for technological inventions as well as research and development products to attract investors.
In environment that encourages the application of the skills acquired through science, technology and innovation.
The ministry hopes to use the innovation exhibited at the expo to jumpstart Nigeria's bid to become an industrialized country by the year 2030. Still on information technology, the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy this year got a budget allocation of more than 47 billion naira. Now, this is a decline from last year's allocation of more than 159 billion naira. Chimdema Ndubisi gives us details.
The communications and digital economy sector has become one of the high contributors to the nation's GDP. The role it played in connecting people during COVID-19 lockdown and Nigeria's recovery from recession cannot be forgotten in a hurry. A budget of 47 billion naira has been appropriated to fast-track implementation of policies and completion of ongoing and new projects to consolidate on the gains so far recorded. More than 32 billion is to be expended on personnel costs and overhead. 14.8 billion is for capital projects. Here is a breakdown of allocations to some agencies under the ministry. The National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, a little above 24 billion to increase citizens' digital enrollment, currently at 92 million. The Nigerian Postal Service, NIPOST, more than 13 billion. Nigeria Communication Satellite, NIGECOMSAT, more than 4 billion naira to take care of satellite, broadband and rural connectivity. night concerts, 2 project and other activities. Inclusion of the establishment of ICT Park, empowerment programs for females, training on high-demand digital skills, construction of ICT centers in states, creation of digital jobs, and digitization of government processes in this year's budget got nods from ICT experts.
We have an inclusive budget. It took care of the girls, women, various development.
The majority of the budget went to NIMC. And that's because NIMC already is running on a multilateral and bilateral loan. Another aspect that probably next year budget should look at, the allocation for infrastructures can be expanded.
Nigeria is pursuing to be the leading digital technology hub in Africa. In Abuja, Chimdimma, DBC, NTA News.
With an increase of 0.9% in budgetary allocation to the education sector from that of 2022, hopefully the sector may see some improvement in this year 2023. Olayinka Ojo will tell us more about it.
From a total budget of 21.8 trillion naira, the education sector got 1.7 trillion naira in the 2023 budget. Of this amount, 19.7 billion naira is allocated to 3 examination bodies. The sector recorded an increase from 7.9% in 2022 to 8.8% in 2023, making it the highest allocation made in the sector since 2015.
Yes, is far below what the UNESCO have prescribed. But for me, that the fact that they have the thought to increase is a step in the right direction.
We made some progress. At least we've upped the budget compared to what has been budgeted in the past.
A total of 4.18 billion naira was allocated to INEC, both local and international, while the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board got 4.5 billion naira.
JAM has actually exceeded our expectations, because I want to say clearly here that it is one of the exam body in this country that has consistently been upping its game.
11.1 billion naira was allocated to the National Examinations Council. For the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, it is 6.2 billion naira. A welcome development as it is. But players in the sector like Oliver Twist are still yearning for more. At the same time, they call for holistic and optimal implementation of the allotted fund.
To block all the leakages, and then you see that it's not going to be a big thing, but I think we just have to begin to start something somewhere.
My hope is that it will target the right people so that we'll get out of this quagmire.
Experts, however, say for now they see the future of the sector in Nigeria as depending so much on the realm of hope and expectations. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
Still looking at education, the federal government says parents and guardians of school-age children who are out of school would be arrested and prosecuted in a bid to reduce the number of out-of-school children in the country. Minister of State for Education Goodluck Nana Opia stated this while flagging off national campaign on out-of-school children in Abeokuta, Ogun State. Yemi Dalemo reports.
The Minister of State for Education, Goodluck Nana Opia, says the need to confront factors denying children access to basic education necessitated the sensitization program aimed at ensuring that school-age children are in classrooms learning so as to be productive and have a guaranteed future instead of roaming the streets in different parts of the country. He noted that it is imperative for stakeholders to address these challenges, calling for the strengthening of basic education in Ogun State, while also commending the effort of the state government in the adoption of various measures to reduce the growing number of out-of-school children.
And therefore urge our stakeholders to work together to ensure that all our children, especially the indigent ones within our communities, are given support and sponsored into various locations.
Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun appreciates the federal government initiative with the promise that its administration will continue to collaborate with the federal government in engendering development in all sectors and the socio-economic development of the state through education.
We're committed to ensuring that all children in the state will have access to quality education and all other social amenities that will make them better citizens.
Our governor, when he came on board, he declared emergency in the education sector. He then cancelled all forms of fees and levies in school.
Highlight of the campaign is the presentation of materials to learners by the minister and the Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun. In Abeokuta, Yemi Dalemo, NTA News.
Let's turn to health. Putting health on the political agenda is key to repositioning healthcare delivery in the country. This dominated discussions at a one-day symposium by stakeholders in the sector organized by Health Transformation Coalition. Basi Ita Ipang reports that the present administration was commended for making health for all a priority.
Ensuring that healthcare system in the country is efficient and again sustained by the coming administration is the reason for this meeting by stakeholders in the sector.
All we are here for is that we have people who understand this sector, people who have serious experiences, and our role today is to proffer concrete solutions to all the challenges.
The Minister of Health noted that investing in the health sector is a pathway to effective healthcare system and would strengthen the economy of the nation.
The laudable initiative addresses a work in progress in the health sector. It is underpinned by the ongoing health sector reform of the current administration, with a vision to build a resilient and sustainable health system.
So, it's health security, and health security by definition is sort of a combination of all the actions you take, both proactive and reactive, to prevent or mitigate public health threats in your country.
The APC presidential candidate, Bola Tinubu, who was represented, promised to reverse brain drain in the country.
As we all know, a healthy nation is a wealthy one. Health care reform is at the core of our Siwaju 2023 developmental agenda.
Moving forward, participants agreed that stakeholders in the health sector should be proactive and participate in policy formation and design strategies for implementation, monitoring and evaluation of outcomes. Basi Taipang, NTA News.
The federal government has ordered the closure of the Second Niger Bridge and sections of other major roads earlier opened to ease traffic for the 2022 Christmas celebrations. Now, the directive was given by the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, to enable contractors return to site to complete work on the various projects. Let's hear from Chinyere Okoli.
Recall that barricades were removed at all construction sites on December 15, 2022 for ease of movement to reduce travel time during the Yuletide, and subsequently opened on 2nd January to allow travelers returning from the southeast easy access to the west. The Second Niger Bridge will with effect from Sunday, January 15, 2023 for continuation of work on the completion of the access roads to the bridge. Director, Highways, Bridge and Design in the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, Oluropo Oyetade, in an interview with newsmen, gave an insight into the project.
After 15th of January, we go back to work fully. And after the final commissioning, the bridge will be open to all kinds of vehicles. And mind you, the old bridge is still there for both ways of vehicles to ply. The bridge itself is about 98%, but
The Honourable Minister, however, seeks the patience and understanding of motorists and members of the public on this action aimed at completing the ongoing project. In Asaba, Chinyere Okoli, NTA News.
No fewer than 4 persons were killed in a car crash, which occurred mid-noon Sunday along the popular Nikon Junction in Abuja. Hawagimba, our correspondent who visited the scene of the accident, reports that the accident occurred when a motorist tried to maneuver a resident crossing the highway.
This is a particular spot where the fatal car crash occurred, killing about 4 persons and leaving many injured. Chairman of the Nikon Gishiri Junction Motor Park, Joshua Khalid, who expresses heartbreak over the crash, says both commuters and passengers were involved in the crash as a resident crossed the highway, leading the motorist to maneuver and consequently crashing into 4 other vehicles.
I advise them not to park on the roadside. We have a bus stop, but they don't usually want to use the bus stop.
Abubakar Hassan and 2 other victims are receiving treatment at the National Hospital. He speaks on the incident.
I use cadastral bridge to cross the road. In my way to Mabushi to go and buy some cheap items. I stop a vehicle, you stop. I first put my charge inside from the back seat. Myself enter. That is what I know.
Unit Commander, Central Business District, Imran Ibrahim, explains further on the road crash.
The accident was fatal. They found dead bodies on the road. Vehicles, about 4 vehicles involved, damaged, and then so many people injured. But as the culture of FRAC, immediately the victims of the accident, that is those that are injured, they were moved to National Hospital for medical attention immediately.
Residents appeal for the urgent attention of road safety managers, even as our camera lens captures a truck driving against traffic. The FRSC Central Business District Unit Commander warns motorists, commuters and pedestrians to desist from violating the road traffic rules and regulations. Hawagimba, NTA News.
Similarly, a fatal accident involving a trailer trying to avoid running into other vehicles has claimed 16 lives and left others injured at Molisa in Kebbi State. We'll bring you details in subsequent bulletin. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the inauguration of a presidential interministerial committee on the implementation of the Nguru Ecological Intervention Program performed by the Minister of Environment, Muhammad Abdullahi. The inauguration is in response to a request from the Emir of Nguru, His Royal Highness Alhaji Mustafa Ibn Mekyari, for ecological funds for the afforestation of degraded land, to mitigate climate change impacts within the emirate. The presidential committee is to come up with recommendations on modalities for implementation of the Nguru Ecological Intervention in line with the nation's climate change action plan and commitments to global climate agreements.
As well as other socio-economic problems across the country, and the general of the people. This is being clearly demonstrated through our various policies, programs, and initiatives, some of which, as we are aware, are intersectoral. It is also being demonstrated by Mr. President's directive with the effect that this committee should be established. However, we acknowledge the fact that government alone cannot do it. Collaborative partnerships with all stakeholders, including our royal fathers, are key and critical.
Environment correspondent Omenge Fineface reports that the committee is to assess the project site and liaise with relevant funding partners before submitting its report to the Minister of Environment. We're heading to Lagos to join Michael Olale. He'll pick up with some more reports. Michael?
Trying the murder case of pregnant lawyer Omobolanle Rahim
has commenced in Lagos with the arraignment of the prime suspects, Dramambi Ayuba Vandi, before a Lagos State High Court. Amaka will report that the defendant pleaded not guilty to the one-count charge brought before him.
Hearing of the criminal matter between Lagos State government and Dramambi Vandi, alleged to have shot and killed Omobolale Rahim in Abuja area of Lagos, was earlier stalled due to the absence of the defense counsel. Taking his plea after commencement of hearing, the defendant Dramambi Ayuba Vandi pleaded not guilty to a one-count charge. The first prosecution witness, Inspector Matthew Ame, the police officer who was on duty alongside the accused the day the incident occurred, during a stop-and-search operation, gave a vivid account of the incident, stating that a Toyota car without a plate number refused to stop when it was flagged down. He said he heard gunshots and saw shattered windscreen of a Toyota, after which a dark lady ran to the defendant and accused him of killing her sister. During a cross-examination, the defense counsel, Adetokunbo Odutola, pointed to some differences in the statement of the witness. He had earlier complained about the clarity of documents presented as evidence by the prosecution and called for adjournment of the case.
This is in demonstration of the state's resolve that within all our powers, no crime will go unpunished.
We are here to demonstrate our commitment to pursue this matter to its logical conclusion, and that's what we would do, not only for Bolale, who happens to be our colleague, but anyone who suffers as a result of the excesses of law enforcement agencies is arrested.
Well, I wait them to bring in their witnesses, and we will cross-examine the witnesses after I studied properly and thoroughly the documents. They've given me a better, clearer document now in court, so we'll go through it.
The case was adjourned till the 25th and 26th of January 2023.
Adoption of digital technology has to a large extent impacted various aspects of human activities, bringing about more efficiency and high returns. Amidst the challenges of data management, slow access to healthcare professionals, among others, experts say adoption of digital technology in the health sector is a panacea. In the support, Joe Okuola examines the benefits of digital technology in healthcare delivery.
A bulk of the Sustainable Development Goals is hinged on achievement of effective healthcare delivery. Realizing these lofty goals has undoubtedly become a tall dream in Nigeria due to the analog practice in some aspects of healthcare delivery. Digital technology, which according to experts is in tandem with global best practice, can eliminate the waiting time, which has become a thorn in the flesh for many Nigerians.
Where is patient confidentiality? There's nowhere. When we are still using paper files where people can just pick up a case notes and then be able to read through a file of any patient, personally, I see it absurd.
Accurate diagnosis, prompt emergency service, telemedicine, and adequate monitoring of patients are some of the gains of digital health.
Health management has taken another dimension, so because we now have the HMOs through which organizations can actually subscribe, and then it's very cheap for the employees to join through a group, and it's cheap. It's not like before.
These practitioners say any hospital that does not go digital may go into extinction, since government health policy has now encompassed digital health.
Just this is 2023, 2021, Ministry of Health, the commissioner called me to come to Lagos State Ministry of Health and discuss digital health, and then we trained some medical directors and CMD on electronic medical records and also on electrical health records. We were so amazed.
While anticipating more policies that can further drive adoption of digital health initiatives in the country, experts are positive that healthcare delivery will take a new narrative to the benefit of all Nigerians and stem the tide of needless medical tourism. In Lagos, Joel Okuola, NTA News.
You are still watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for update.
Have you joined us in Sokoto?
Vice President Yemi Oshibajo has facilitated the construction of a primary to senior secondary school for indigent children in Sokoto. The land was donated by late philanthropist Hajia Rabiatu Adawiya. The latter Abdullahi has details.
Let Hajia Rabiatu Adawiya of Minanato area of Sokoto Metropolis is the mother to the Senior Special Assistant to the President, Legal Research and Compliance Matters, Office of the Vice President, Dr. Balkisu Saidu, and the staff of National Assembly, Nasir Saidu. Before her demise 2 years ago, Hajia Rabiatu Adawiya had endowed her house to be converted to a school to support education of children from poor families. With this development, the Vice President Yemi Oshibajo, through Sustainable Development Goals Office, facilitated the construction of the school, which was named after the donor of the land. The school at the Adawiya Girls Academy School is fully furnished. The newly admitted pupils presented with uniforms and instructional materials free, while Text Foundation supported the project.
This dream could not have come to pass at this moment if not for the enormous support we received from His Excellency the Vice President.
Virtually everything free, and the criteria is somebody must be an indigent, kind of person without any support.
Chairman Sokoto State Zakat and Endowment Commission Lawal Maidoki expressed the readiness of state government to partner with any individual or organization willing to support education. Ardan Minanata, Aminu Garba Reskua, and Sheikh Yahuza Tambol described the conversion of the house to school as worthy of emulation. They commended Vice President Yemi Oshibajo for actualizing the project. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
National Broadcasting Commission NBC has warned broadcast media outfits against using their platforms to promote violence during electioneering campaigns. Director General NBC Balarabe Shehu Ilela gave the warning in Sokoto at a one-day parley with broadcast stations from Katsina, Sokoto and Zamfara states. The latter Abdullahi again has the report.
The engagement is aimed at discussing security challenges that affect all the states and general elections scheduled for February this year. National Broadcasting Commission said political broadcasting must be produced to encourage tolerance, political harmony, and national cohesion. The Commission would penalize any broadcaster that flout the Code of Conduct and the Electoral Act, urging media houses to give equal access and opportunity to all political parties.
Our meeting today will serve as a reminder to broadcasters that a huge responsibility is on them to guide the electoral process.
Sokoto State Governor, represented by a Secretary to the State Government, Mainasara Ahmad, emphasized that broadcast should be on principles of equity, fairness, and balanced reportage. In their remarks, Commissioners of Police Katsina, Kebbi, Sokoto, and Zamfara states said the commands have put in place a robust mechanism to address political activities in their domain. Resident Electoral Commissioner Sokoto, represented by Director of Voter Education Muhammad Abbani Takai, said INEC success of the 2023 general elections rely on the role and contributions of political players. Two papers presented at the event focused on integrity and inclusiveness, as well as security and election coverage 2023. The event was an opportunity for heads of media houses to ask questions. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And that's it from Sokoto for now. More news with Ruth in Abuja.
Thank you very much, Sadia. The Presidential Campaign Council of the All Progressives Congress is calling for the prosecution of the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, over what it calls weighty corruption allegations against the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. This was at a World Press Conference by the Joint Media Directors of the Tinubu-Shetima PCC in Abuja. Speaking on behalf of the directorates, Chief Spokesperson and Minister of State for Labour, Festus Keyamo, said the party is also set to begin judicial process to seek the outright disqualification of the PDP presidential candidate.
Now, we want to make the point that
Atiku does not enjoy immunity simply because he is a presidential candidate. And we're saying this because we understand that the law enforcement agencies may be reluctant to act simply because of the perception or persecution of a presidential candidate that this may evoke. However, facts are sacred. The facts so far presented to the world clearly indicate that Atiku Abubakar has a case to answer. He has an explanation to make.
We are calling the law enforcement agencies to do the needful. So in their own investigations, anybody that is related or linked to this would also be apprehended. But the law is no respecter of anybody.
In another development, the Atiku Okowa Presidential Campaign Organization has described the formation of a uniformed squad by the All Progressives Congress codenamed Jagaban Army as a treasonable act. Spokesperson of campaign organization Kola Ologbodiyan in a statement alleged that Jagaban Army is set up to disrupt the 2023 general elections and raid the polling units of votes on behalf of APC presidential candidate Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The statement described the contraption as a direct affront to the Nigerian armed forces and other security agencies, as well as an assault on the sovereignty of the nation. It called on the security agencies to save the lives of Nigerians and protect the electoral process by immediately going after the formation arrests those behind the design and save the country from electoral violence. The campaign organization said the APC presidential candidate should not see his ambition as a do-or-die affair. The statement posits that Nigerians have settled for the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar, who continues to exhibit experience and capacity to deliver. Kebbi State is one of the lucky states in Nigeria to benefit from President Muhammadu Buhari's projects having direct bearing on the lives of the people. Kebbi State Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, along with the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami SAN, says this is why the APC should be voted in the coming election. They stated this at an APC rally in Kebbi State. Usman Abdullahi Shehu reports.
The rally was literally more of a reminder to the all APC supporters of the achievement recorded by the present administration, both at the state and national level, as well as what is expected of them on the election days. Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu was full of gratitude to the federal government for the numerous meaningful projects in the state that include construction of Sokoto-Yawuri-Kwantagora Road, the Presidential Artisan Gold Mining Initiatives project, under which 20,000 youths in the state have been beneficiaries, and the station of a military base in Inveski local government to improve security in the area, among other projects.
Every program
He appealed to the people to appreciate and compliment all effort by voting for the APC at the elections. In the same vein, Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami SAN, who highlighted the social intervention schemes and developmental projects executed by the federal government in Yawuri Emirate and other parts of the state, also urged electorate to sustain such legacy by voting APC for continuity. Other prominent party leaders and community representatives who spoke at the rally conversed for massive votes and support for the party at all levels, reminding the gathering to ensure they collect their PVC, especially with the collection date being extended. Similar rallies were held at Shanga and Yawuri local government areas respectively. Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
The People's Democratic Party says its presidential campaign council and candidate Atiku Abubakar will continue to promote and encourage violence-free campaigns in the party's continued appeal for Nigerians to return it to office in the February 25th, 2023 elections. National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Debo Olugunagba, stated this position at a media briefing in Abuja. Let's hear more from Timothy Yusuf.
This media briefing by the PDP spokesperson Debo Olugunagba is centered on two key issues: recommitting to non-violence and issue-based campaigns and reaffirming the stance of the party's candidate for the Borno Central Senatorial District.
Atiku Abubakar is poised to win the majority of votes cast across the country and secure 25% in all the states of the Federation to emerge president at the very first ballot.
On the Borno Central Senatorial District election, the party urged members to disregard information towards not having a candidate for the election.
The candidate for the Borno Central election remains Honorable Umara Mohammed Omalia, as since confirmed in the list of candidates for the 2020 elections as published by INEC.
Meanwhile, members of the United Nigeria Movement, a political association, have resolved to queue behind the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, as its sole candidate for the February 25, 2023 election.
We are supporting him. He is the only candidate who has what it takes to pull Nigeria out of the doldrums. The United Nigeria Movement will remain by his side and offer our full support in any possible way.
The movement explained that their decision followed a nationwide consultation of members who promised to take their campaign for Atiku to the grassroots. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The Caritas Nigeria has urged the federal government and security agencies to be proactive in encouraging Nigerians to jettison voter apathy due to fear of insecurity and participate in the year's general elections. The Chief Executive Officer of Caritas Nigeria, Reverend Father Uchechukwu Obodoe China, gave the advice in Abuja at a national pre-election dialogue and public presentation of 2 books titled Anti-Hate Speech and Fake News Guide and Charter of Demand document by Caritas Nigeria.
We are recommending that people should be focused on the values, not even the values of the parties alone. It's the values for the nation. For example, the value of peace, that we're to live together as a people. When we live together as a people, development becomes easier. When a party comes out and says, because in all the parties there are saints among them, there are devils among many of them. And there's no one single party that meets all the requirements. But we expect that people of goodwill in all the parties should influence the systems of the party to produce good results that respect the will of everyone and the good of all.
Go and collect your PVCs. We are receiving reports from where the population is too much for those who are working, and so there are long queues, but we are excited that Nigerians are going to collect their PVCs. We call on Nigerians too. We need to change the narrative, the issues of violence. We call on politicians not to use our children. We need to change the violence, the narratives about issues of using, our youth.
The Enugu South local government area office of INEC has been attacked by yet to be identified persons Monday morning. The security gatehouse was raised. Fortunately, the attackers could not gain access to the main building as a result of the rapid response from the police and army personnel from 82 Division. The State Commissioner of Police and the REC were personally at the scene immediately they received information about the attack. A statement by INEC National Commissioner for Information, Festus Okoye, indicates that of the 2 policemen deployed to protect the facility, one of them lost his life, while the other sustained injuries and is receiving treatment. INEC prays for the repose of the soul of the deceased policeman and the speedy recovery of the injured. President Muhammadu Buhari salutes the former governor of Osun State, Chief Bisi Akonde, the first national chairman of the governing All Progressives Congress, on his 84th birthday, describing him as a true statesman. In a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says the president pays homage to the sacrifices of one of the champions of the nation's democratic struggle, who rose to occupy the party's highest constitutional position through hard work and discipline, and wishes him many more years of service to the party and the nation. All right, let's head to Maiduguri as we join Abubakar.
Coming back, Eleni is getting some
To see you, Ruth, and thank you for joining us. Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umara Zulum has launched this year's Emblem Appeal Fund with 10 million naira, assuring of his administration's commitment to improving the general condition of families of the fallen heroes, disabled, and the aged veterans. The governor gave the assurance during the Armed Forces and Remembrance Day held at Ramat Square, Maiduguri. Maimuna Garba will now bring us more details of the story.
In line with the tradition of Armed Forces and Remembrance Day to honor the fallen heroes, Governor Babagana Umara Zulum led the rite assisted by the theatre commander, that of Air and Navy, among other traditions usually performed during the ceremony. Governor Zulum had, while paying tribute to the fallen heroes, described the occasion as a time to rekindle the spirit of patriotism and selflessness by Nigerians and saluted the military's courage in the counter-insurgency operations. He said military's efforts have contributed to the return of peace to most communities, hence the closure of all official camps and resettlement of appreciable number of people to their places of abode.
I'm optimistic that those brave soldiers who take their precious life in the course of defending Nigeria did not die in vain, and we shall continue to immortalize them for their selfless service to the nation.
While appreciating President Muhammadu Buhari's pragmatic approach in addressing the lingering security challenges in Borno and the nation in general, the governor acknowledged efforts of the police and other local security outfits and volunteers for working with the military in strengthening peace in the state. As part of continued support to the veterans, Professor Zulum directed the Security Trust Fund to provide 1 Hilux vehicle to the veterans, in addition to 2 million naira and 200 bags of rice for widows of the fallen heroes.
Government is also looking to the possibility of providing a permanent site to you. Government will also look into the possibility of supporting you with a view to establishing the course of commissioning in the state.
Secretary to the Borno State Government, Usman Jiddeshua, said gallantry of the veterans serves as role model to the military. Chairman Nigeria Legion Borno State Council, Colonel William Momza, retired, appreciated the unwavering support by Governor Zulum and hoped he will sustain the assistance considering their living condition and number of widows they have. Various ministries, agencies and institutions also donated to support the cause of the veterans. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
And still on issues that have to do with security, outgoing theatre commander Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai, Major General Christopher Musa, says promotion of 12 senior officers to the ranks of general in the theatre within 1 year is a testimony of the command's commitment to countering insurgency in the region. General Musa stated this during a dinner organized to honor the promoted officers. Here again is Maimuna Garba with the rest of the story.
The outgoing theatre commander, Major General Christopher Musa, charged the newly promoted officers to continue with their gallantry as the command is focused on ending the insurgency. While encouraging them to put in their best in the campaign against terrorism, General Musa congratulated them over their promotions. He said troops' commitment have led to successes being recorded daily, hence the need to do more.
On our conduct and our successes in the theatre, and it will only ginger us to want to do more. And not only for the generals, we had other rank structure that also were promoted, including over 2,500 soldiers last year. So I think it's been a bumper harvest, and it shows that we're doing well and we're well appreciated.
Major General Christopher Musa assured that his successor will continue from where he stopped to restore peace to the northeast. On behalf of the promoted officers, Major General A.A. Adeke promised to sustain the tempo of decimating the insurgents.
Our journey to where we are today started many years ago. And it is only God that has sustained us to this date, made it possible for us to be promoted. So give him all the thanks.
He commended the theatre commander for the support. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
If you're just joining us, you are on to Nationwide on the largest television network in Africa, the NTA. Let us at this point take a break, but Ruth in Abuja will be back with more stories for us shortly.
Welcome back. the National Senior Citizens Center and the National Agency for the Prohibition Against Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, are collaborating to stop the violation of the rights of older persons in Nigeria. This is contained in a statement by the spokesman of the NSCC, Ominiuden, on the rescue of an 80-year-old woman from abuse in Umuobi village, Ezinifite Town, Aguata local government area of Anambra State, where the son was in the habit of molesting his mother and other relatives. The statement quotes the Director General, Dr. M. Omokaro, as saying cases of molestation of older persons should be reported through the NAPTIP toll-free lines 070-3000-203 and MTN 627 and #627 *627#, for prompt action to be taken. On the legislature, the House of Representatives has held a legislative engagement with stakeholders as part of its efforts to incorporate the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development into the country's Human Trafficking in Persons Act. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports that the process is also reviewing the penalty provisions contained in the Act.
Submissions by stakeholders at the public hearing were of strategic approach to eradicate human trafficking known as modern slavery.
We're talking about people who are trafficked, deceived. Fraud is being used. They promise them jobs, but obviously it's something else that is waiting for them at the other end.
It would be very grateful if there is also thoughts given to the Commission for, the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
We be part of the board, the NAPTIP board, looking at the important role the Commission, human rights plays in issues of trafficking.
The bill, according to Deputy House Leader Peter Patterson, who represented the Speaker and Committee Chairman, seeks to review both administration and enforcement sections of the Act.
Societies are dynamic and the mode of maintaining law and order also are becoming imperatively dynamic. Ours as a nation cannot be an exception.
It is therefore imperative to review penalties for a lot of crimes that are related to trafficking.
If passed by the legislature, the amendment bill is expected to ensure fulfillment of Nigerian obligation under the United Nations Convention. From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
Some Bayelsa indigenes in Abuja occupying the old Chelsea Hotel at the Central Business District are appealing to the Bayelsa State government not to use the military in evicting them forcefully at the building, but apply dialogue. The plea is coming from the Ijo Youth Council FCT branch following alleged deployment of security personnel where some occupants were assaulted.
We condemn the activities of the military men within the old Chelsea residence on Saturday night and warn the perpetrators to immediately desist from such unlawful acts. We use this medium to also call on the Governor of Bayelsa State, the Inspector General of Police, the Director of Secret Services, and all relevant authorities to investigate and provide justice for the assaulted amongst us.
We expect the governor of the Bayelsa State to come to the Bayelsa community in Abuja and mediate this said property. We have been here since 2014, right from the former governor of Bayelsa State, who asked us to stay in this property, to protect and preserve this property that is owned by Bayelsa State government.
Right, let's take sport.